This is Television Nigerian, a broadcast network committed to serving you the very best in online and offline television programming. Situated in the serene environment of Guzape, Abuja FCT, TVN, as it is fondly called, caters to a wide variety of audience via carefully orchestrated mind-blowing programs in the areas of fashion, business, politics, entertainment, religion, movies, food and health, culture and lifestyle, events around the globe, sports and foreign news. Whatever your inclination, we've got you completely covered with programs like Issues of the Moment, The Patriot, Daybreak Nigeria, Matter Africa, TVN Business Time, Healthy Living, From the Cradle, Stay Inspired, Entertainment Gist, Movie Hour, Hit Paradise, among others. All designed to keep you thoroughly informed, entertained, at the edge of your seats and yearning for more. A tour around our domain will reveal a highly dedicated staff force and a state-of-the-art facility and equipment for high-definition quality broadcast, making our station your number one choice in advertising your business and propagating your ideas. We are currently on NightComSat doing our test transmission for takeoff in the nearest future. Television Nigerian is located in Nigeria at Television Nigerian House, Guzape Hilltop Mansion, beside Guzape White House, Guzape Abuja FCT, and in the United Kingdom at 45 Ancient House, 48 Aerodrome Road, Beaufort Park, Colindale, London. For inquiries, Television Nigerian, broadcast beyond boundaries.
Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. I am your host, Daniel Atai. In what seems like American democracy and value before the international community have gone with the recent invasion of the Capitol building by the President Trump's supporters to prevent Congress from counting and adopting the victory of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in the U.S. presidential election of November 4, 2020, that saw Biden and Harris as president-elect, in order to prevent their certification and transition of power on the 20th January 2021. Is America falling from grace like the 2013 American thriller script directed by Antoine Fuqua called Olympus is Falling Down? This and more are what Spectacle on Television Nigerian will be discussing today. So welcome, I am Daniel Atai. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, I will introduce to you the guest analysts in the studio as we begin to do justice to the topic on discussion. So please stay tuned.
The issue here we have to begin to look at is that at the time of independence, I don't know if there was a trajectory to where we are going to.
How could it be that credible, free and fair under manual conduct of election?
That is where our problem lies, and that is why people are now saying that, advising that we should move, that the world has gone into digital. We should move from the manual to the digital.
We cannot keep doing same thing and expecting a different result.
The only way you create jobs from your ministry is that you have to encourage local content.
If you look at the profile of Sally Mama, there is a caveat in this leave given to him. He should seek medical help if he is fine.
Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. Yeah, with me in the studio by my far right is Reginald Nabwe. Reginald Nabwe is a political economist. Reginald, you're welcome to Spectacle.
Thank you so much, sir.
And by my immediate right is Comrade Silvanus Okpe Esquire. Silvanus Okpe is a political analyst and a legal practitioner. Welcome, Mr. Silvanus.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Before I introduce you guys to the preamble record, I would want us to, first of all, know what is happening. I would want to hear your opinions about what America has become and where America is heading, especially with their democracy in recent time, with what we are seeing, like the scenarios that are playing in third world countries. Of recent, you saw what happened on the 6th, the invasion of the Capitol Hill by Trump's supporters, Donald Trump's supporters, the outgoing president, though he is still the president, but is outgoing by 20th of January 2021. In your own opinion, Mr. Silvanus, how would you describe recently American democracy?
Well, America's democracy, though the envy of other nations' democracy, the bastion of the world's democracy, it has just been revealed that it is imperfect. It is yet to attain some standards. What is keeping America's democracy today, as revealed by the ugly events of January 6th, 2021, is the strong institutions that has been built and that has lived for over 200 years. The events of the 6th January 2021 is the most ugly event of the century. It is an attempt to erode on the world's bastion of democracy. It is an attempt to erode on the free will of American people. It was an attempt to truncate an election that has been lawfully counted and the winner emerged since November 2020. And we thank God for the timely intervention of the systems, strong institutions that have been built and that has evolved over the years. Well, the first takeaway from that event is that America's democracy is not as perfect as it seems.
As we thought.
As it seems, as they have always told us that it is. Okay. But the second thing is that America's democracy still remains the envy of the world. The strong institutions being able to surpass that event of that day is what makes the beauty of America's democracy.
Okay,
you see the Congress. We have House of Representatives in Nigeria. We have the Senate. Can you imagine the Senate and the House of Representatives coming against a sitting president in such a manner?
Or even the vice president.
The vice president who stood in an election, a joint ticket election with the president, presiding over that meeting again, and ensuring that the will of the American people, the interest and the preservation of the democracy of the American people comes before his own individual interest. That is the beauty of America's democracy. That is the resilience. That is the strength.
Right.
And that was what the world saw on the 6th of January 2021.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Silvanus. Before we take the preamble, Mr. Reginald, from the fight that Donald Trump and his supporters are fighting, could you, in your opinion, adjudge that yes, he won that election against what was recorded by American electoral system?
Actually, I want to look at it from a different angle.
Okay.
And from the angle of the fact that every great empire rises and falls based on complacency.
Yeah.
Now, I actually feel that the American democracy just failed because here you have a people, a great number of Americans that believe, because American democracy, which was supposed to have been implemented, the checks and balances of the American democracy, which the vice president had power to call into being, to check about the legality of the election. At the point he had the opportunity to do it, he refused to do it, which was why the people took the responsibility of registering their displeasure over that and invaded the Congress.
You mean Mike Pence?
Yes, Mike
What
Pence.
was he supposed to do?
Mike Pence was supposed to call for the scrutiny of the votes, because now Donald Trump has said that the elections were rigged, and they have a system of check and balances, which is what they were looking at. On the 6th, the vice president had the opportunity to call the Congress to a halt and then request for the checks and balances on the issues of rigging of elections, of the American election, to come into play. But because he didn't do that, that was what necessitated, that was what gave birth to the invasion, which means that there were millions of Americans that have been disenfranchised by the fact that they assumed that the elections were rigged. And if you feel that these people have no say because you have based on the overwhelming votes, the electoral college, and then the majority votes, that Biden had won the election with Harris. Now, in such situations, what you do is allow the process to play out. But this process didn't play out. The vice president actually, like you said, yes, based on the fact that American institution, electoral institution, and democracy has lasted for so long, and that is why you have separations of power. That is why you have the process by which they use to validate things are different from most democracies of the world. The vice president, like you said, it will be difficult to have any other country whose vice president will stand up and do exactly what Mike Pence did. But Mike Pence had a responsibility to other Americans, to the Republican Americans, to prove that beyond every reasonable doubt that the election was not fraudulent. This is what gave birth to the invasion of it. It's not that Donald Trump incited the crowd, because there are two things. It is one thing to incite something. It's another thing to watch the thing happen. Donald Trump, in all his posts and in all his rhetorics and everything, you cannot say that he incited the people. Okay. But you can say that he actually watched the thing happen.
Okay. All right. He didn't incite the people, but he watched from background that people were protesting that the Capitol Hill is their own house and not for the Congress, isn't it? Isn't it what you just said?
No, well, I'm saying that what the people did was to register their displeasure over the fact that
it has to be on the day of the counting by the Congress?
Let me quickly interject.
Yeah, interject.
Before
I give the preamble.
You see, the Constitution of the Federal, let me use our Constitution for instance.
Okay.
Our criminal code. If somebody who has the power to stop a crime, instead of stopping the crime, stood aloof and watched criminals hack someone to death, the person is a principal offender.
Yes. And
will be arraigned before the court. Donald Trump had that opportunity to go on air and stop that test on America's age-long democracy. But he refused because they were playing to his own interest. Donald Trump, I supported Donald Trump. But from that day, I ceased to support him as a lover of democracy. There is no way any president will sit idly by and watch a pivotal institution of democracy like the Capitol to be invaded by miscreants and destroyed with wanton abandonment.
All right, we'll take a short break with this preamble. Gentlemen, and I want you to watch the reportage of what Art played. Because right now, we are talking about either he has to face impeachment or the invocation of the 25th Amendment will be used against him, probably, or perhaps. That is what the situation has come to. And Nigerians would want to know, or the world, and from us in TVN, we want to dish it out what the 25th Amendment, especially the Section 4 of the 25th Amendment of the Constitution of America, talks about in a case like this, whether Donald Trump would continue as president the 28th of January 2021, or the vice president will take his place, or the Speaker of the House could come to take his place as president of the nation, pending the transition program. So we'll have a look now on that particular reportage that we gathered about what is going on in the United States of America now. Stay tuned with that video clip. Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. I am your host, Daniel Atai. Welcome back. Sorry for the audio transmission of that reportage. However, we go ahead with what is going on in America, particularly the planned impeachment or the invocation of the 25th Amendment of the American Constitution against Donald Trump, the current president, whether he is going to scale through to the transition program or not. I still have Comrade Silvano Izokbe, Esquire, a political analyst in the studio, and Regina Adunaboy by my far right, a political economist and an industrial advocate on Spectacle today. Let me begin with you now, this time. From what is at playing right now, comparing to third world country, would you say that Trump, like you initially said, that he is fighting to defend their democracy and the people are trying to defend their vote, could they say, and Trump himself also say, that they are defending American democratic institution from that act?
Exactly, that is my take. And I want to say this.
Are they defending the democratic institution?
Trump is actually, listen, Trump from the first day he was elected as president has had to fight virtually everybody that thinks differently from, and let me explain.
Yeah, we're not talking about the moral aspect or the religious aspect.
It's not the religious or moral aspect. Let me explain to you. Okay. Now, here you have a man. Now they are talking about invoking the 25th Amendment, about impeaching him. Yes. Trump has been impeached before.
No, section 4 has never been used. And that section, of course, there is a...
I agree with you. I understand with you.
I wouldn't go forward before him.
Yes, but go ahead. Let me tell you this. Trump has been impeached for wrong reasons in the past. So now, what makes you think that this impeachment is based on right reasons? Is it based on the fact that he is saying that the election is rigged and the people supporting him are also of the same opinion, and based on that, because Mike Pence, who had an opportunity to actually, it would have elongated the declaration of the election victory of Joe Biden. But eventually the system would have also still come to prove the same thing. But here you are, you have taken that opportunity from a people, and a lot of Americans are that. And these people are the ones that invaded the Congress. Now, if you say you're going to invoke the 25th Amendment, Section 4, to impeach Trump based on that, to me, it's not a new thing. He has been facing that from the first day he was elected, because those who saw him win never believed that Trump could ever become president.
No,
so
he has not been facing the 25th Amendment.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not disputing with you about. I agree with you that he has never faced the 25th Amendment, Section 4 before.
Yes.
But I'm telling you that he has been facing everything that can be thrown at a man, at a man's presidency, for false reasons. It has been thrown at him, and he has had to survive all this. And now he's only asking for them to do the right thing for the last time. The system is there.
Okay, did you witness in 2016 how Trump came to power?
Absolutely.
The popular vote went to
Hillary Clinton.
Clinton.
Yes. The
electoral college vote went to Trump.
Yes.
Was it proper for Trump to be announced winner of that election?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Let me ask. Okay.
No. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So why is it wrong now for Trump?
Because Hillary Clinton did not dispute the election itself, the votes. He didn't dispute. Trump is disputing the whole elections.
Couldn't you say that it is tolerance that Hillary Clinton and respect for institution, democratic institution of America,
Trump
that made her say so?
Hillary Clinton is a politician. Trump is a businessman that became politician for the first time. And Hillary knew that Trump beat her hands down. Nobody expected. The whole world never expected. And because of that, that's what the world is still fighting. And let me be frank with you. The whole world fought Trump in this election. Only the Republicans are the ones that stood with him. It is not only about American election. It was actually a global election with bias based on his personality. And you don't elect people based on personality. You elect people to perform. It's performance. And Trump is the best performing president America has ever had. And if you ask me why, I'll tell you for one reason. Okay. Trump brought back the jobs to America. And if I'm Trump, it doesn't mean that I thank God for the fact that some of us have been given the disposition to know how to relate to human beings, which Trump might not have had as an individual because of the way he grew up. But I can tell you this, that I will stand to make sure that my people benefit first before any other set of people. I'm not going to, there is nothing like globalization. Globalization is falsehood that exists for the migration of African natural resources. Okay. There's no globalization in travels. You cannot get up here and say you're traveling to India without, you can't go. Yeah. But globalization comes into play when you have to move raw materials from Africa and it comes into play when it has to do with trade. Okay. Trump was doing what he has to do for Americans. And for that, I will always stand by with him.
Thank you very much. I'll come back to you. Mr. Silvanus, you were nodding your head to react. So first of all, I want you, although the definition we got for the Section 4 of the 25th Amendment that is about to be invoked against Donald Trump, not the 1, 2, 3 sections of that 25th Amendment. Now, the 4th Amendment, do you think that it is justifiable at the moment for American democracy to apply it, or the Congress to apply it against Donald Trump?
Well, first and foremost, I believe and I think that the events of the 6th of January 2021 should be investigated. And if Trump is found guilty of inciting that insurrection, he should be prosecuted. But before prosecution, he should be impeached.
Now, impeachment might take time.
That is what I'm coming.
Okay.
Invoking Section 4 of the 25th Amendment does not come to play in this issue.
Okay.
The section of the 25th Amendment of the American Constitution envisages a president who is medically incapable to carry out his functions in office. And that is why, for you to understand that Section 4, you must read it with Section 3, combined reading of Section 4
Yeah.
with Section 3.
I read-
Section 3 said
Yes.
the president willingly handing over that because of so medical attention.
He has to write
yes, health
and then
matters.
hand over.
I will not discharge my functions for now. He will transmit the letter to the president of the Senate. And when he's back, he will transmit it back to the president of the Senate and resume duties. But Section 4 was inserted into that constitution by the drafters of that constitution to ensure that if a president becomes selfish and when he's medically unfit to help, has health challenges
or mentally
unfit to carry out the functions of his office, he does not clinch to power. That is why the onerous responsibility of seeing that session is carried out lies on his cabinet member.
Cabinet and the vice president.
And the vice president, people that ordinarily will not betray him for political reasons. It's just the same thing with the session.
And where they failed to do that, that same section said that the Congress have the power to do it by impeaching him. And then it won't be that the vice president anymore. The Congress will so wish to choose maybe the speaker to replace him, where the vice president has rejected to invoke that section. Because the state at which the American people are saying, or the system is saying it now, the Congress, is that Trump is mentally unfit to discharge his duty. And if they converge, perhaps, and said, Mr. Trump, you are mentally unfit, Trump still, by that section, has 4 days to reply that he's fit and he can continue his duty. So if he replies and says he's fit to continue his duty, the Congress can still go ahead and say no, can reject or affirm his ability or competency to continue as president. But where in this case, from all the scenario what is outplaying, they have seen that he is incompetent. He is incapable. So what is going to happen?
No, you cannot say the president is incapable under the Section 4.
That is what they are saying.
Section 4 of the 25th Amendment is the same thing with Section 144 of Nigeria's Constitution. And the Nigerian Constitution, as amended in 1999, Section 144, subsection 2, said you start with a medical report from the personal physician of the president that the president he has health challenges and will not be able to carry out the functions of that office. That is when the ministers and the will now meet by majority, but that of America, but 2/3 majority. But that of America is simple majority. So it's the same thing. Trump at the moment does not have that health or mental challenges to be removed by that 25th Amendment. I don't think it will be proper.
All right, let's have a look before you come in about the section. The 25th Amendment here said has 4 sections. 4 sections. The first section codified the traditionally observed process of succession in the event of death of the president, that the vice president will succeed him to the office. It also introduced a change regarding the ascent of the vice president to president should they later resign from office. Now, in the event of resignation, the vice president would assume the title and position of president, not acting president, effectively prohibiting the departing president from returning to office. The second section of the amendment addressed vacancies in the office of the vice president. Of course, if the vice president becomes the president, there will be an automatic vacuum in his previous office as vice president. So there must be replacement for vice president. Now, the third section of the amendment of the 25th Amendment in the American Constitution said that it set forth the formal process for determining the capacity of the president to discharging the powers and duties of office. If the president is able to declare his or her inability, then the vice president takes over as acting president. In case the president is unable to declare his or her incompetence, the 4th section of the amendment requires the vice president and the cabinet to jointly ascertain this. And if they do so, then the vice president immediately assumes the position of acting president. It is this fourth section that many are asking Vice President Pence to invoke against Donald Trump. I will go on and on to describe
exactly
the fourth.
What I said.
No, it's also here that they can reject Donald Trump, the president, if he writes to the Congress and say that he is capable. But having seen the scenario surrounding his behavior and what his supporters and everything, statement and falsehood has been, they can adjudge to say, no, Mr. President, you are incompetent. You cannot continue, and they invoke
I
that
want
section
to ask you a question.
for his resignation.
I want to
No,
ask
you go ahead.
The question I want to ask you is that you are a politician. You are going to have, I know you're a politician.
I'm an analyst.
Then listen to me. Number one, you have supporters. Are you saying that the actions of your supporters automatically translate to your action?
No, I didn't say so.
So let's stop there. Then let me say, let me land.
I didn't
You
say
cannot,
so.
you cannot say that the actions of Donald Trump's supporters is the action of Donald Trump.
Never.
Now, I know from the angle that my comrade is coming from, the angle of him being the president, he has the executive power to ensure that the Congress is protected from invasion. In case such a thing is about to happen, he's supposed to have called out the National Guard to prevent that. But I also want to tell you that a lot of times...
Was he the one that did that?
No, that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying to you. I said to you from the
Okay,
beginning.
have you also heard that Donald Trump alleged that he won the election with frivolous figures?
Let me tell you, Donald Trump, the question, that's what I'm trying to make you, is let me be frank with you. America has fallen.
Good.
Let me tell you why America has fallen. What you saw happen there shows that the spirit of the democracy of America has fallen. That is the reason why majority of Americans, a lot of Americans, not majority, a lot of Americans invaded the Congress. It has never happened in the history of America.
In the history of America.
It has never happened. And for you to know.
And the section 4 of the 25th Amendment, Mr. Barrister, has never been invoked over on. Let him interject. Yes.
Well, before going to the 25th Amendment of the Constitution, you cannot say that President Donald Trump should be insulated from the actions of his supporters, overwhelming supporters. When he addressed the rally, he used insightful statements. Even Facebook has blocked him up till this moment.
Twitter also.
Twitter and Instagram.
They have been doing that, not today.
But you saw the statement he made.
They have been doing
from
that
Fox
on
News.
falsehood. I'm telling you, see, we must reflect what is happening with what has happened.
Let me finish.
Yes,
well, I will disagree with you that in that statement that America has fallen. America has not fallen. America's democracy passed through a test. Just like the Nigerian customary law. For it to be recognized by the court, it must pass through repugnancy tests. America's democracy passed through a test and it came out victoriously. Because the will of the people, despite that insurrection, was sustained.
I beg to disagree with you that the will of the people. You see, the system itself was what was going to determine the will of the people. As at present, the election is still contestable. The only thing is that they have declared a winner, not because he won, but because the system itself was, Pence himself allowed himself to be carried away.
There are constitutional processes of ventilating your grievances as a candidate in an election.
Yes.
Trump wrote to many courts, he approached many courts.
Yeah.
That is the constitutional process. You don't go by insurrection, by mob action. It can never sustain a democracy.
Yeah.
There is no way mob action, insurrection can come into a democracy that has stood the test of time for over 230 years. You bring mobs into the capital, the house of the people.
And you went behind to monitor
destroy
it.
properties, and they were able
But I like
the
Trump for one thing. Anyway, you
let me finish what I'm saying. That does not mean the democracy has fallen. Not every nation that their democracy will pass through this test and the nation is together today. that they will quell it within 6 hours, and they have declared the president without any civil
If it is
war.
Africa now,
Without
you will hear
the civil war.
coup
No,
d'etat,
it
not
is
even
not
Somebody
true.
from north, somebody from south, they will say
not true.
that's
It is
what
not
they are
true. That
saying.
is not what happens.
You cannot
in
say
Africa.
that
Let me tell you, in
Nigeria,
Nigeria, our elections, we have had contests about the outcome of elections, and still Nigeria continued. In Ghana, we have had. In Africa, everywhere you have it, it happens.
But there
And
are still civil wars
let me
after
tell
elections.
you. Let me yes. Let me tell you.
Have they shot anybody in Nigeria in the National Assembly?
Even
dead?
it has never been invaded.
Let me tell you something.
No, National Assembly has been invaded here once.
Let me
Not for election purposes.
Yes.
Not for election purposes.
Where they stole the maize.
Not
I
for
want
election
to.
purposes.
I want to.
If you
say
look
this.
at the background videos, the footages we gathered, you discover there is one particular one from Jay-Z DNX. The video showed how they shot the one of the protesters, and we are talking about just opposing it with NSAS, for instance, that happened for over 2 weeks here in Nigeria, and the Nigerian government never intervened with the NSAS while it
Would you
continued.
say that the president is responsible for that?
Mr. President.
Yes.
So what I'm trying
Are
to
they
put
his
before you is
supporters?
that
Wait, let me-
the democracy,
We are not
you know,
his
it was the
supporters.
same America that first said Nigeria has done this, done that about the NSAS. We don't have democracy. So now I said in the Capitol building,
I want to-
somebody was shot dead.
Can I say something?
There is a
Can I say
distinction
something?
And,
between the EdSat protest and what happened.
Let me. Can I?
Okay.
Can I,
Is-
And
Strong distinction.
what about the National Guard, just like the Nigerian Army? About 600 of them, within how many hours were dispatched to the Capitol building?
can I?
How many hours did it take before the Nigerian government sent
Responded.
army
Okay.
to quell the crisis all over the country?
I
So,
want-
which democracy is better now?
Let me
Mr. Man?
let
Go
me tell you
ahead
something.
and
remember
continue.
what I'm telling you is that what was Mike Pence supposed to have done on the 6th that Donald Trump expected? I'm asking you, sir.
Well,
Yes, based on the rules,
see,
the electoral rules.
Mike Pence
Yes.
is a Democrat
Yes.
who primes the will, the overwhelming will of the American people over his personal political.
No, that is not the
interests.
question I'm asking you.
I'm
There
coming,
was
I'm
something
coming,
that
I'm
Mike
coming.
Pence could have done
You
that
cannot
would have
force
allowed
him
it.
On the 6th.
You cannot
Yes.
force
But
Mike
the
Pence
whole issue,
to involve in certain
did
illegality.
it emanate from the 6th?
Yeah, listen to
In
me.
illegality,
The whole
don't
issue of
suspect
this
it.
Donald Trump victory, lost, and Joe Biden.
Can we go back to the first term of Donald Trump, the last 4 years? You have had situations where you have judges, you have Congress, they have gone as far as the Russian Huas, they followed it for 4 years on falsehood against a government of a man that won the election legitimately. Now, if you consider that, I am not shocked that he had to follow all the processes, over 60 applications to the courts. Now, it is a fact that we know that it has been proved. It has there are videos showing that the Democrats, they have a lot of information and things that they hold against the judges who are supposed to stand their feet to preserve the electoral process of America. What I'm trying to
This is why he
Wait,
went to-
let me tell
They haven't
you.
been-
Let me
They are
tell
not factual.
you. It's the same thing that you are. All you are talking about. All you are talking about Donald Trump. It's at the same. It's on the same premises. And what I'm trying to make you understand is that Mike Pence had an opportunity to still give an opportunity for the American.
It was a desperate measure
No,
that
it is
Trump
not a
was
desperate
expecting
measure.
him to invoke.
No,
Mike
not a
Pence is a
desperate measure.
Democrat who does not want to contribute to truncating the overwhelming will of the American people. When they freely gave
I still coming
Joe
back.
Biden,
I completely disagree.
Esquire, I want to ask
Yes.
Reginald a
Yes, sir.
question. As you look at the whole scenario from when this election began, let me say from Trump's election, it was challenged on many grounds, but he was certified the winner. Hold on,
Yes.
was he certified the winner?
of course.
Yes or no
yes,
now?
let me tell you.
Now, when he was certified the winner of that election,
Yes.
did Clinton and the rest went to rest, and even Obama and all those Democrats went to rest and allowed him to continue?
They did not.
They went to rest.
They
This
did
is
not rest
another
for 4 years.
election.
What are you talking about?
But this
Me and you are here. We were there for the past 4
But
years.
normally
This
4
man
years is
has
another electoral program
I'm
now.
not institute. What I'm trying to make you
Now,
remind you
this
is that
electoral process that just passed after his 4 years, from 2016 to 2020, his first tenure elapsed and he recontested. Now, his recontestation of this election and the crisis that ensued, for him to have gone to several different courts, and the 3 courts said, please, you lost this election. Just like
that is the due process of the law.
It's a due process.
the same thing happened about the Russian hoax. They went through all the courts, and the courts found him guilty.
Found who guilty?
That's what I mean is that you discover that the process by which they have gone through, even with his first tenure, you find that the majority, even the public courts, finds him guilty of what he didn't commit.
Like what?
They said he rigged. He used the Russians to win the election last time. Was it true?
No, but the court didn't say prove anything.
No, I'm telling you, the court of the public opinion.
But
they found him guilty. That's what I'm telling you now.
But what about the institutional court?
They impeached him based on that. Are you aware?
Why was he not removed? Was he removed?
But you see now, if the Congress
That's where the institution came to play.
if the Congress can go that far based on falsehood, there's nothing that cannot go on based on falsehood too.
Well,
that is what I'm telling you.
But the institution never removed him.
Yeah.
The institution still respected his right.
Because of
as
the
an
Republican
elected-
senators, they refused to stand. It was his party that kept him in power.
But do you know that his party voted against him?
Now, that is what I'm trying.
I don't want to argue further because the senators are just legislators. The judiciary is another arm of what democracy, another arm of government in democratic settings. So you have the executive, the legislative, and then the judiciary. Each one works independently in America, unlike in this country.
It's a lie.
No, hold on.
It's a falsehood.
If it was a falsehood, Trump would have been removed by public opinion since.
The falsehood.
Anyway,
it's the falsehood that has just shown up. That's what I'm trying to make you. The people have had to take the thing to themselves. And that is why they invaded the Congress. The people, the supporters, they are disenfranchised. And they are a lot of Americans. You're talking about 40-something, but almost 50% of Americans.
Anyway, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we will juxtapose what happened in America with what the recent end-SARS crisis in Nigeria. Please, Mr. Silvanus, I know you have the floor to speak, but I'll beg to take a quick break with this background video of what transpired in a faraway United States of America, how a particular young man was shot in the capital city. I don't know whether the MCR are ready with the video, but if not, you can give me a short break. Please stay tuned with us. Don't go away.
The issue here we have to begin to look at is that at the time of independence, I don't know if there was a trajectory to where we are going to.
But how could it be that credible, free and fair under manual conduct of election?
That is where our problem lies, and that is why people are now seeing that, advising that we should move, that the world has gone into digital. We should move from the manual.
Welcome back. We couldn't actually get that video footage where one of the protesters was shot in the capital city. But however, I was trying to relate it with what transpired between the end-SARS and what happened in the Capitol building of America. Mr. Silvanus, could you say that Nigeria's government is exonerated?
They are not. Yes, there is a lot of differences between what happened during that EndSARS protest and what happened in America on the 6th of January 2021. This is when this is about politics, elections, post-election crisis. A man instigated the supporters to invade a pivotal institution of democracy. It's an insurrection. It's a direct assault on the democracy of America. But this one, youths, tired of the extrajudicial murder of Nigerians, tired of the misgovernance, tired of the lack of jobs, tired of the myriads of problems in Nigeria, decided to hit the streets. So that is it. It happened, and they were attacked. Another difference is that you will not see American government come out to say nobody was shot. They don't play politics with life. That is where the American institution is stronger and more powerful than that of ours.
All right. You have something to say towards just opposing these two differences?
I can say this, that looking at what has happened in America, you will see that the system itself, like every great empire, every great empire has its expiry date. And I believe that what happened in this situation, where a young man was shot in Congress, indicates that America is no longer that nation that we think it used to be. And I can say this because
in fact, the death toll has risen to 5.
Okay, and if you notice now, you see that that those who wanted the downfall of America, they have their way now. And if you look at the Nigerian context, I am happy for the EndSARS situation that happened, in the sense that for once, the Nigerian youth were able to discover the power that is hidden in their coming together to stand for a purpose. And looking forward, when I wasn't in the country when EndSARS happened, but I was happy that we have found our voice, that we can actually now stand up as a people without religious differences, tribal differences, come out on the streets to demand something and have it. And which means that there is a new spirit that has happened to Nigeria, because these things it first of all happens within before it happens without. And what it shows to me is that Nigeria is on the path of greatness. And thank God for Mr. President. While I also have it from all the videos that were shown, because today we are in the IT world. Everybody has a smartphone.
Yes.
I have not seen no video of any place where anybody showed me any video. Like we have the video of how they shot that boy. There is nobody showing us any video of how they shot anybody in EndSARS protest. How is that so? Now, on that basis, I believe very strongly that I stand with the position of the federal government of Nigeria that there was no massacre that happened in the EndSARS situation. A lot of people lost their lives. So policemen lost their lives as a result of the situation. Not only citizens. But in all that, all I see is progress. And I want to say categorically that this administration of President Buhari is the best administration Nigeria has ever had towards making sure that the populace is empowered.
Now, how do you mean by that? A lot of quarters are saying the president has done
industries.
nothing.
I was in the studio with you this afternoon now, and when you said to me that Ajokuta has come on stream, partially come on stream.
Yes, Ajokuta
that is 40 years. 40 years. In 1980 was when they laid the foundation for Ajokuta. 40 years later, it is the presidency, it is the government of this president that has, because you see, my own area of life is making sure that our people have jobs, industrialization. And I can tell you that there is no government in the history of Nigeria that has done more in building industries, in pursuing local production for local consumption, like this government. And as long as this president is doing that, I'm not interested in all the other his personal life and his religious inclinations and every other thing. What I'm interested in is in the fact that Nigerians are being given an opportunity. In the next 5-6 years, you will see the results of what he has done. And what it means that Nigeria is on the path to going back to being wealthy, because until the individual persons that constitute Nigeria becomes wealthy, Nigeria can never be wealthy.
I think you are correct.
And Based on that, I rest my case.
Thank you very much. I think on this note we can call it a day from here. If not, I had wanted us to continue, but we will continue another time on this same topic so that we will discover to know whether America is like the Olympus, the predicted Olympus is falling down, has fallen down indeed or not. However, Mr. Silvanus, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And Reginald, thanks for coming on Spectacle today.
Thank you so much, sir.
I hope when I have the opportunity, you will give me the privilege next time.
Thank you so much.
All right, viewers, gentlemen and ladies out there, this is where we'll stop today on Spectacle on Television Nigerian. Do well to follow us on our social media platforms and drop your comments, share our posts, like our pages, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and so on. And don't forget, Spectacle, as the year begins, is open to doing business with you. Don't forget again that this is your socio-political and economic program that will beat the reach of media for you, for all that you want us to air for you. I have been Daniel Atai, and kindly use anytime the numbers displayed on your screen. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow. Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. I am your host, Daniel Atai. Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria.